I saw you applied in for articling positions in Velo
Yes.
portal. And
Okay.
did you hear back?
Oh yes, I did hear back. I got a couple of responses from firms. You get the standard, rejections where happy, your resume looks very fantastic, but unfortunately, and then when you get to that part, I'm just like, okay, yeah, thank you very much. And it's no hard feelings. It's just like you said, the recruiters, they're looking for something. They want to be able to like read your resume, and sometimes it's maybe a line, a paragraph in your resume, or it's a cover letter that just, they're hooked, and they're like, okay, fine, let's see what this person's got to offer. And so I reapplied again. I missed the first rounds. I reapplied again. I sat down. I did everything. I was like, okay, fine. Let's do it this time. And I did get some feedback. I got some responses back. I think at the time I'd interviewed with MAG. I'd interviewed with the city of Toronto as well. But I just didn't get like an articling position on call day. I just didn't get a call back. So I was just like, oh, another one. I missed another one. So I was just like, what do I do now? And I would say I wouldn't say I was sad or whatever it is. It's just life. These things happen. I was like, okay, at least I got a call back. It's better than the first time I didn't get anything. So I was like, okay, so something's definitely working. And I remember at the time the NCA OCIs just started the process, and interviews, I think the applications were due October 26th. I think I remember the dates in my head now, because the applications were due just right after. And I was like, at the time I was like, oh, it's a 2L position. I don't want to apply for summer position. I should be applying for an articling position, because that's what I'm supposed to do. Everybody has a standard, you know, plan, like a trajectory that you should be. You should, when you finish a master's, you should go straight up and you should article. And if you were to summer, you should have summered in school. So during that time, and I remember just thinking about it, and I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. Sorry, just chair. And I was like, okay, I think it was a couple weeks before, and I was like, look, at the end of the day, I'm somebody who has always gone after the experience. To me, it's the experience that matters. And like you said, if you know where you want to be, you will. I found that the time that I spent just doing thousands of applications on VI, if somebody had told me at the time not to do those things, you would probably think the person just didn't want your best interest. You'd be like, no, I have to apply for everything. I have to go in there. But if somebody had told me, like literally told me, don't do that. Just find the specific firms that you really are interested in, network with those firms, and then just put your application package together. So I remember like when I heard that the NCA OCIs were coming up, I was like, okay, I have to do better this time. So I remember I sat down and I started preparing my application. There's nothing I will tell you that worked for me than preparing. I prepared for the I took it like a full-time job at that time. So I would sit down and I was like, for a 2L position, so I'm like, you know what, I'm going to give it my all. I will put my resume, I'll put my package together, I'll draft a cover letter. I started networking with people, reaching out to people in the firms that I felt like I wanted to work at. And the NCOC had a list. I think it was 11 or 9 firms. I can't remember at this point. And of the 11, I believe it was 11 or 9, I only applied to 5. I picked the 5 that I wanted and I was very interested in. And I was like, these 5 are the people that I'm going to commit myself to. And I was like, if I don't hear back, it means that I've literally exhausted all my options. And I was like, at this point, I probably might just go do, the LPP or something else. But I remember like there was one thing that I was very, very, you have to be very confident in yourself. And I sat down and I started doing the application. I think maybe one package probably took me a week or maybe less, depends on the day after work, that I had so much more time to sit down and draft my cover letter. Like your resume is it's pretty standard. Like there's so much you can flip around for your resume. But for your cover letter, like I said, it's something that you want to be able to, because if they have your bio, they want to know the story behind this person. And your cover letter is a way for them to be able to like see you and like, just want to get to know you better. So I sat down and I would take like, maybe 2 days, just put my story together, put everything that, make sure you're proofreading, because sometimes you're proofreading, but you miss little things, to be honest. And it's all, part of like, being human, you'll miss something. And when I finished, I remember I didn't send each application out one at a time. No, I drafted every single cover letter. I had a folder for every single firm. And in that firm, I put all my application documents together. I put everything that I wanted to. Some firms were a bit different from some because I'd expressed different interests in things that I'd wanted to do. And I also, between the time, well, long before then, I been networking with some lawyers at the firm, or just speaking with associates or articling students. And I know a lot of people, it's kind of daunting to like reach out to people, but I found that people are very nice and very open to like talking about their practice, telling you, you know, what worked for them. Just because it worked for somebody else doesn't mean it'll work for me, but it's just nice to know. And I found like, you know, just reaching out to the lawyers at the firm, asking them for help, it was really, really helpful to me. I know a lot of lawyers were like, even if they were like super busy, they always would like, okay, why don't we have a 10-minute call? I'm busy right now, but I'll have a 10-minute call with you. I'll explain to you, like, you know, you talk to me. So I found that really helpful, just talking to the lawyers, having coffees, because it's after work, I would go during my lunch break, I would go for a coffee, I'd network with somebody, I'd go back. So it was kind of stressful, but I found like just doing those things alone, networking with people really did help me when I was ready to put my application package together for the OCIs.